We in the building. Hey, we in the building. This is about to be a historical event. Hey. Tune in, man. We got the brother Rob Haynes. We live. We live, brother. Hey, Rob, my brother. We live, man. Hey, this is a public. Hey, this a public. Let me get everything. Make sure everything's set up. Cause that stuff you got to spend on your Instagram, man. It's got to be put out. It's got to be put out, man. Everybody get to know this. We had to start waking people up so we can get this ball rolling. We got to get this ball rolling, man. We already. I think we live on. We live right now on YouTube, man. Hey, we're gonna give people a couple minutes to get up in this joint. Let's see. Maybe to the clan on the land, baby. Public notice. We lit. They've been waiting on. It's already 26 people up in this joint, man. Hey, we live with the
brother. Hey, so we recording right.
Go ahead.
So look, the same information be reviewed by Dane Calloway. The same information. They had to tell them to verify the information because Rizza Islam is he's the scout sent out by Mother Khadijah. She the matriarch on the land. Dane Calloway is the he's the researcher of the grid. Right? He got what we call the man hours and the receipts to verify. Right? Soon as they verify this shit, you got to put the notice out. They got to verify that we know what the fuck we talking about. Now, Baba wants you to find the video on the flag that he did. One of the Nuwapians send it to you when they hear this part of it. But Baba did he said it was he's telling me now, it's a closed session, United Nuwapian Wars. It was under ancient Egyptian order. He talked about the flag and it goes back before 1492. Right? The Nuwapians know what we talk about. They need you to put that video from Baba, so they're going to be contacting you with it.
I can't wait.
Also, shout out to brother Zosar Moon in Detroit. That's the my Nuwapian link that hooked me up with you.
Hey, look, they've been trying to get us hooked up for a long time, but now we hooked up. It's for the go up. It's for the go up.
Feathers up. Feathers up. I see you. Representing Chief.
Hey, look, look, I'm Maku Black Hawk, man. Black Hawk of the Choctaws, Louisiana, man. My mother Choctaw. So yeah, we native to the land. We native to the land, man. This that public service announcement for the bait. She make it clear. Hey, y'all get in the building, man. Hey, get them on and tell them we got the brother Rob Haynes live right now. We in the building, man. I'm gonna post this Cash App. Although we on charge, we ain't charging this off. We doing this for free. But if you want to show your love and support, man, you know, show your love and support. Hey, go ahead, bro. Hey, go ahead. I want you to spit that stuff you were spitting on the Instagram that we just posted. So then I got a couple questions we could go into to make it more clear for them, because a lot of stuff you talking about, people it's going over people's head. People never really heard of this, and it's like a shocker almost. But some people can relate. They say, "Oh, my grandmother was this man, and my grandmother was a Native American, or this and that." And but it's like they cut us off with all of the lies, like because they don't know that King George the First was sending convicts over here in 1715. They started at first they were sending them to Australia. And these people they were criminals, and they came over here to take our land. Over a period of time, they took our land. And they telling us that we was brought on slave ships and all this other crap, right? But that's not true. You know what I'm saying? So that spits out of the stuff you was spitting on the Instagram, man.
So let me give you a little update on the IG.
Okay.
I did an IG video because one of the brothers had information, right? So for a couple of days we went back and forth. He assured me that he wanted to put the information out to reach the people so that they understand that there is no more United States government. That shit closed. First thing. Second thing is that they gave us everything back in the Indigenous Rights Act of 2017, including reparations. But we call it reparations. We just call it access to Big Mama's bank because it's all Big Mama shit. And we say Big Mama, we mean prime creator. And when you get to Earth, we talking Mother Earth. So they gave it all back, and we putting the notice out to the clans on the land now that we had to find the three kings. Stan Tookie Williams was frozen in Area 51. They thought Angel Bay is he's the mufti, the chief mufti on the land. He is the one is responsible for enforcing the law. Larry Hoover is the spokesman for the United Clans, chairman of the board. He is the one that's supposed to give us a report and supposed to be going over this information. He's supposed to tell us a reporting of what goes on our land. When we realize that something is out of place, somebody got, and that's the chief job. The lesser chiefs, like you represent Chief Black Eagle, but you Chief Black Hawk, right? Mirror flip. Every chief got either an eagle, a hawk, or a falcon that follows them, right? And the priestesses have owls that pop up in the yard in the middle of the night. Hoop, right? So what we is, then we become obligated to each one teach. That's the law of the land. So I already showed them January 6, 2000, we sent the shaman that looked like the Pale Man to seize back the Nancy Pelosi by staking the land flag behind the Admiralty flag to switch the jurisdiction, right? So it's available on my. I also showed them where the continuity of government is currently taking place. This is where the borders is closed. It's all the countries, major countries, they borders closed because they in governmental transition, right? So the children then rose up and evicted the ones that don't belong here. They've been served. Now we just got to get the people, the clans people, the grassroots to understand what's taking place on the land. And that's where me and your job, right? I'm now to you as if I was Larry Hoover, and you speaking to me right now as if you was Malachi Z. York. They call it in proxy in the public domain. This is our culture. This is our culture. The chiefs got the shit in the open in front of the tribes, right? So my chief Hoover, your chief is Chief Black Hawk, Black Eagle, and you Chief Black Hawk, so you become his representative in the bird clans. We all know that the bird clans is the clans or Tahuti. We start unraveling the mystery in front of the people. Let them see it. Drag the conspirators out into the public domain and let all of them try to see we won. They don't even know we won. They walk around with their head down. They disappointed in life. They disgruntled. They fighting each other like dogs with rabies. All this shit. But they don't even know they won. Right? So what you seen on the video yesterday was the brothers checked out everything I said. and then we went over what he discovered. From your view, in retrospect to looking at the video, what did you see?
Right, I saw that it's a lot of information that was already out, that was already right there. It just took somebody to come out publicly and let it be known. And I see now, like all the stuff you were saying, it's like I already was on the track of it. I was on right track. I got different, I've been ordering different books to verify what I said about the King George connection, about we was already over here first, the 17, yeah, that right, the empire, right? I also got a book that's gonna be here tomorrow called Black Indians in America, the indigenous, yeah, okay. So I was already on them. I was already on them and saying that, man, this is the biggest lie. I mean, it's like they lied about everything and made everybody white. You know, with the Horace Greeley connection. Horace Greeley was the one that was doing the New York Tribune to cut off all the information and make everybody white and change us to black from indigenous people. They were just lying, man. It's so many lies to dig through. It just, you can get exhausted, man. When you, as you go to digging, you can get exhausted and say, oh shit, it's just, oh man, every angle you turn, you can get exhausted, man, because there's so many lies. And we were indigenous to the whole planet, but America, we was also indigenous, and that slave trade, the roots and all that was a lie. It's a lie, man. We was already over here. They was the one that was brought over.
Here goes something we didn't notice about roots. I don't mean to cut you off, but I want to mention this because you brought it. Roots.
Hey, you might have to get in a better area because it's chopping you up a little bit. So if you got a better area, because it's saying your bandwidth is low and it's chopping you up, but we can hear what you're saying, but it's like it's cutting out every now and then. Yeah, that's better right there.
Hold on. I might have to go out and come back in because.
All right. Yeah,
okay, I got you. All right, so Roots, the story of Roots, if you remember when they brought Kunta Kinte, do you remember what Fiddler called him? He said, this here is a Guinea nigga.
Yeah.
He said, they brought this nigga from Africa. We don't know nothing about no Africans.
Wow.
We didn't catch that. We slept on that. Look, Fiddler say, look, this here is a Guinea nigga. He come all the way from Africa. Right? And he said, we don't know nothing about no Africans. Why in the fuck is that in there?
Right.
Another point in the Roots movie that we not noticing, Chicken George. Chicken fighting is native over here.
That's right.
We used to solve whole tribal wars with a chicken fight.
Wow. That's deep, man. Yeah, you hit me upside the head, man. This heavy right here.
So now when we looking at Roots, we can see it with a different lens. That's the narrative they was pushing. That's not the story.
That's right.
When you look in the story, you can see the culture leaking. Right? So all of the plantations, they said that every plantation had something called a big house, right? That used to be Big Mama house till they erased her name.
That's right.
The subjugation of the divine feminine. It went from Big Mama house to the big house. Right? It went from a planetarium where we looked at the stars at night to a plantation. You see, Big Mama used to send Big Papa out with the boys at night to tell them how to read the stars. We don't remember that shit. That's our culture. Once you can read the stars, you don't need no books. The only reason we need books is because we've been conditioned that if it ain't in the book, it ain't right. Right? So you want to hide it from a nigga, put it in the book, because that's where they keep all their secrets. Right? And the bigger the book, the more secrets is buried in them pages. Right? And we don't know nothing about what they call knowledge classification, the pricing of books. The classification of knowledge, how valuable is it, is predicated upon how a physics book costs way more than a self-help book.
That's right.
And the question is why? Quality information. Right?
So
now we on the land, We seeing what's going on and we feel uncomfortable because we don't understand it. In our quest for understanding, the oppressors, the colonizers, the settlers, the conquistadors, the Tudor royal family of Europe that came over here to find a home, them little kids, they ain't supposed to be here. Right? So they came over here fucking with Tahuti kids because they figured that as long as Tahuti ain't here, they can have their way with them. And we was hard to handle from day one. Every time they tried to oppress us, we naturally adapt and overcome their oppression. Right? So the harder they oppressed us, the earlier we started having babies. Why? Because they was on a genocidal plot. How do you fight genocide? Right? You fight genocide by propagation, procreation, rapid childbirth at early ages. That's the only way to defeat genocide.
Yeah, my grandmother had 21 kids. My granddad's mom, they had 21. He got 20 brothers and sisters.
Right. Now watch
the
this.
Washingtons.
Remember, we baby kids. We don't die, we multiply.
That's right. That's right.
Who the fuck is baby?
Right?
Baby, that's Big Mama nickname. That's what Big Papa called him. Bay. Come here.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. This is good shit. This is
good
shit.
Come tell us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's Big Mama kids. We don't die, we multiply. Every time you think you got one of us got away. Right? So the COINTELPRO program had 400 leaders in the Chicago area alone scheduled for neutralization by the federal government. That's just Chicago. That's not counting Los Angeles. That's not counting New Orleans. That's not counting New York. That's just Chicago. That's not counting Detroit, Atlanta, Miami, right? It's not counting that. Right? So now we got to get the message to the people where to look to verify that they gave it all back. The understanding that they gave it all back is the straw to break the camel's back. All we have to do is become aware. The awareness unlocks or activates the public notice. So each one teach one. We all got to reach something, right? And if you need the reference, we can tell you where to look. Now, the brother I did that video with, about an hour and a half after I did that video, probably not even that long, he messaged me and asked me to take it down. I can't take it down because it's all true.
Yeah, I think he was just scared because he said because they know you putting out a certain level of information, and he think that he might come under attack because he connected with you. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know what it is. I do know this. I know that ain't nobody gonna fuck with him.
Yeah.
But I also know that if the people don't know what's going on the land, these caricatures on TV is gonna follow the dog and pony show all the way to the bitter end.
That's fire, man. Hey, let me ask you this. Because I heard you say on there the connection, but I heard you on another tape because I've been watching out trying to catch up on all your tapes. You was talking about the Ivory Coast and how that wasn't a slave area. That was like a area for warriors to go underground. And I was like, man, that make a lot of sense based on what I already researched. With the slave trade being pretty much a lie. They didn't bring that many people over here on no damn ships. It was 500 million people over here prior to them even coming over here when they did the they made the connection with Monta Oka, who was Pocahontas, right? Where they tried to get John Smith or John Rolfe to marry her. And then once they that's how they started trying to intertwine and mix in with us. And then they took Pocahontas back overseas and threw in Graceland, England, and threw her overboard and brought their child Thomas Rolfe back. And then they started incorporating. That's like in the 1600s. So it's a whole big game that they play about how they're trying to incorporate it into us and mix their bloodline with us so they can give these people the rights. All the light-skinned Indians and the Indians that's mixed with Hoshin from the West Coast, like the Hopi, Navajo, they all mixed. All the people that got the reservations are mixed Indians, and they tried to wipe us the black original.
I told you where
Indians. Go ahead.
I told you where they came from, didn't I?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, look. When you look at world history, you got to follow the wars of the Romans. The Romans took as POWs Huns from their wars with the Huns. They took Mongols from their wars with the Mongols. Then they took Hindus from their wars in the Indus Valley. Now, this was a permanent slave class in Europe, right? When they came over here, the books say they brought servants and slaves and indentures. When they got over here, we was fighting in Seminole wars. Whole tribes was uprooted and left their communities to come fight the wars. Dropping off our children and our wives at Big Mama houses, what they call plantation houses now, to go fight in the wars. When we get down there to fight in the wars, they come and they settle the Louisiana Purchase, where the French sold the protectorate agreement to the English. Right now, these was corporations at the time. What we know as the United States Corporation used to be the Northwest Trading Company and the Virginia Company until they merged. The same with Halliburton. When Halliburton went in the Middle East, Dick Cheney was on the board of Halliburton, and they set up an interim government under Mohammed Karzai. That's what they did over here. Right? So Albert Pike had images of him drawn with no beard. That's George Washington.
Yeah. Oh, shit. Say, okay, go ahead.
Right. So when they supplanted and undermined the Iroquois Confederate, they called us the Confederates of the South. Now keep that in mind. Civil War time. As the Confederates of the South, they replaced our leadership with their leadership. Abraham Lincoln and George Washington was melanated. George Washington was a Washita.
That's right.
He was from the islands, from
Barbados.
But they tell us he was born in Virginia. That's bullshit. But we don't know the story, so we can't never unravel the mystery. Okay, now, what they did is they, through an act of their Congress, created something called the Dawes Roll to register the servants that they brought over here. Now, they got y'all thinking we lived in teepees. Them was our tents that we went camping with, because the men obligated to take the boys and learn to live on the fat of the land.
Yeah, that's right.
We had castles all over this motherfucker, and they still there. Most of them they turned into prisons and state buildings.
That's right.
Them was our houses.
That's why they look like that. That's why some of them old, because if you study the like Timbuktu and the building structures over the geological area and the building structures, then you go over here and study the original Masonic Lodge in Philadelphia and how it's built like a castle. And then some of the prisons are built that same way. And I was wondering, like, damn, why would they build? And now, oh shit, bro, you cracking my head. Go ahead. Oh,
right, because we didn't have prisons before they came.
Wow.
Was no need for us to have prisons because we was a righteous people.
Man.
So they came over here and indoctrinated us with dogma so that we would forego our moral character and nature that's natural to us.
This shit crazy, right? Man.
So they took on the Trail of Tears, they marched all of the Dawes Roll $5 Indians right past us. While we was going, right now, look at the direction they was going. They was going from southeast United States into the central Indian territories, what today you would call it like Colorado, Utah, Wyoming, the Great Plains states, right? So while they marching the $5 Indians up there, we going to fight in Florida, where the war at.
Oh shit, this getting deep.
Now, once we done left our castles, now they can say under the protectorate agreement, the land is abandoned and they have a right to squat on the land until the rightful heirs to the land return.
Whoa, man, this shit. Go ahead, cause you making a lot of connections for me, man. Cause I was already on them. I was on them, boy. And you making it's a lot of little pieces that I needed that you giving me right now to really go and put this together, man. Go ahead. Ooh, shit.
Okay, now, say it as simple as possible for those settlers and colonizers on the land. Bitch, we back.
Yeah, that's right. It ain't the beginning you want to worry about. It's the end now.
We passed the end. The people just don't know it's over.
Yeah.
Right. So now what we had to do, this is your job. Find the flag video from Malachi, post it on your page. And then review with the people. Let them ask you any question they want to, but review the Indigenous Rights Act of the United Nations and the Indigenous Rights Act of the United States, continuity of government, and then you can clearly show exactly what's going on. This shit over with. Ain't no more United States corporate fiction on our land. The only thing left is the remnant. Right? They always leave a remnant behind to try to delay the new system from overthrowing the old system. This ain't new to us. We used to this shit. And the only reason they called me for, because see, I'm not no regular motherfucker. I ain't just born. They gotta conjure me up. Right? So you can blame Baba, you can blame Farrakhan, you can blame Clarence 13X, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, Marcus Garvey, W.E.B. Du Bois, Prince, blame them motherfuckers for bringing me here. And blame my mom and my daddy for bringing me. They was all in on the conjure to restore the land. So I'm just bringing it all to y'all so people can see this shit a wrap.
It's over with, bro. Ooh, it's over. It's too much. This is like this right here. Like I said, man, it's a the lies. It's so many lies that they had to. It take them a long. Like do my research on studying everything you've been saying. It took them a long time to do this. It ain't just happened overnight like everybody think. It took them a long time. Like, and I am that they had to have help from us, some of our morons or whoever, like the bad guys amongst our clan to help them because they wasn't this intelligent to put this thing together like this to hide all that truth.
No, they was. Don't believe that.
Go ahead.
They was highly intelligent. The Anunnaki children of Enlil are very intelligent, or else this shit wouldn't have worked this long.
You're right.
The only difference is we don't know the rules that they playing by, and they playing specifically by the rules, except they cheated. They were never supposed to murder the chiefs on the land to stop us from reclaiming the land, and that's how they stopped us this long. Murder. They use murder as a strategic weapon. Right? And they already came with the deception. The first thing they did was gave us a Bible.
Yeah, you're right. Go ahead.
So that's why Bible gave me 3 degrees: the degree of Christism, degree of Mohammedism, and the degree of Mosesism. All that shit Catholic, all that shit come out of Rome, out of the Catholic Church, to trace back to Babylon, Babylonian blood magic and money magic. And as long as the people not aware, it's effective. But as soon as they become aware, it breaks the chain. Right? So what's our job? Breaking the chains of psychological slavery. Right? Naim Akbar. What are these chains on our brain? Miseducation of the Negro. Carter G. Woodson. Right? And what's the side effect? A warring soul. W.E.B. Du Bois. Souls of black folks. All of them gave me a piece. Right? So what did they do? Destruction of black civilization. What the fuck is a black civilization? It's a chess turn. They the ones on defense. The ones that's under attack. The ones that's scheduled for desecration and degradation. The ones that's going to be made the pariah of society. The downtrodden. The ones we don't like. The ones we can't kill off because they keep, every time we kill one, they birth 10. Right? That's us. So
that's
the
heavy,
elders,
man.
yeah.
Hey, that's heavy,
So
man.
look,
Like, go ahead.
Marcus Garvey said Pan-African. What do pan mean? Global, right? When you say Pan-African, you mean global. That means for us over here to connect with them over there so that we can know that is black face, white mask, right? Or Stephen Biko say in South Africa, the most powerful weapon of the colonizer or the oppressor is the minds of the oppressed. Right? This is a Mau Mau revolution. This is Kenya, right? The Mau Mau. What's their job? To get the foreign oppressors off the land. The colonizers, those who don't belong. Right? So now we go to Africa and we start studying, and they telling us over here, y'all not from here. Y'all native over there. Y'all organic over there. You belong over there. Right? But we didn't know that until we formed what they call a confraternity, a global fraternity of the indigenous people, Sukarno, right? Bang Dong Conference, look it up. So now that we got this Bang Dong Conference and we done all came together, the royal families that's organic to the earth, now we know what we up against, who we fighting, and that they really don't got pale faces. They just use pale faces to block institutions. So what do? We realized that a long time ago. So we invited more pale faces to overrun their institution with friendlies. So now the friendlies is dragging the information into the public domain. Madam H.B. Blavatsky, Rudolph Steiner, Alistair Crowley, Franz Bardone, right? They dragging the information into the public domain because they telling us this is the same shit they did to us. This is how we get out. They kicked them out of Europe. They came over here. So we needed the help of the ones that already beat them. Those are Inanna's children, ISIS children. Inky's children is on the motherland. That's why we needed Garvey, right? Because Garvey went to Africa and got what they call the Congo key. And without the Congo key, you don't have access to rule the world as a man. You need the Congo key. Well, we call it the gold key in the lodge. And Mama give us the silver key. As above, so below.
Hey, the big mama joint, man. When you start hitting that big mama joint, I was like, man, why did it resonate with me when you say big mama? Cause like big mama, like you can, man, that shit is heavy, man. When you start talking about that big mama thing, because it like the big mom, the big mama was the record keeper. She kept the records, you know what I'm saying, of what was happening, and they didn't really address. They loved the big mama. These Caucasians that were coming over, they love Big Mama. That's why they made them the mammies. And
no.
Go ahead.
Don't get it twisted. They love Big Mama because they knew who she was better than we did. Right? They got Big Mamas too.
What?
And yeah, they got Big Mamas too. Those was the youngest two daughters of ISIS. There's 12 daughters of ISIS. The 12 daughters of ISIS make up the 12 Earth clans, right? And her sons are called Mama's boys. Those are my sons. Or you call them Masons.
Yeah, Masons.
And when her daughters become in distress, they call for their big brothers.
Hey, that's all dealing with the. Hey, that's connected with the 12 stars. And like they say in Revelations, that when they talk about the return of like the second coming or whatever, they talk about this woman with 12 stars. That's really ISIS, and the 12 stars is the 12 tribes.
Make 13, right? Yeah. She make 13.
Yeah.
The 13th tribe is the sons. That's why when you read about the tribes of Israel, there's 12 boys and one girl.
Yeah, that's right. Oh,
right.
Shit.
It's flipped. It's supposed to be 12 girls and one boy. Right, which is Tahuti, firstborn of the earthborn. Right. So now We know what they did. They use our shit and they weaponize it against us by inverting it. They turned our stories upside down and backwards and then fed them into us in a way that causes the computer to malfunction. That's Dianetics. Hold down the 9 on the motherfucking calculator and push 2 times 2 and see if you get the right answer. You can't get the right answer because there's another button in play that ain't being activated because you're holding it. Right? So this is what they was doing to us psychologically, but we couldn't see it.
Man, you heavy, man. Like I know they scared, man. They weren't expecting for somebody like you to pop up and really, it's like half of the stuff, I think it was already in your brain before you even, but when you researched it, it just made you be able to put it out more better. But I think it was in your DNA. Like you said, you were born to do this. You were born to bring this particular segment. We had a lot of pieces, but it's like that missing pieces and the connections and like how you figure things out is natural. I think you're a natural being and you figure things out naturally when you just say, oh shit, like you just said the thing about the jail. I never thought about that. I say, damn, some of them jails like in New York, especially in New York and certain areas in North Carolina, I say, man, them jails do look like, when you just sit there, I say, man, it's like an explosion went off in my brain. Say, damn, them jails do look old as hell. Like, them jails been around for a minute. We didn't have prisons before they came over. So they had to turn those castles into prisons. The plantations, the ones they would call plantations, that's Big Mama house. That make a lot of sense. That just resonate with me. You know what I'm saying? That shit's crazy, man.
The only reason why it appeared that it was poverty then is because we lived off the land. Right? And we didn't have to have all this fancy shit that we gotta have now to say we successful. You successful on the land when you most loved, most respected by your peers. Right? Now, this is the crazy part. We got to be the most loved and most respected out of all of the downtrodden and rejected. That's what you call overcoming a great obstacle. Now, not only do we have to be most loved, most respected in our community, but when we communicate with other people that's not from our community and they give us that same adoration, that's how we move back into positions of authority on the land. Right? So being aware that they gave it all back changes the whole dynamic when the people start to see that they gave it all back. Right? So the reparations, that's why Biden puppet ass said that the blacks can't get reparations without Native Americans. Because we ain't black, we just on the fence. Right? And those sitting on the fence need to get active before they fall off like Humpty Dumpty and become wasted potential. That's what the whole story of Humpty Dumpty was, the story of wasted potential. Right? Because the egg has the potential to become life. But if the egg fall off the wall before it's activated, it's just wasted potential. Those are the chiefs they killed before they was coming to fruition. Like Emmett Till was Chief Littlehorn. Right? And he was supposed to blow the kazoo. You remember the little flute called a kazoo?
Yeah.
Right. That's why they say he whistled at that lady. They can't prosecute her because she ain't had shit to do with it. She was used as the carrot on the stick in order for that. Didn't no pale people go get Emmett Till. This is part of the story that we conveniently overlook. Didn't no pale people infiltrate the Nation of Islam? Didn't no pale people infiltrate the UNIAA? Right.
Black Panthers all over.
So who in the fuck is these infiltrators and why is they being able to be so successful? They look like us, but they ain't us. So I can take it back galactically to Enlil coming to usurp Enki and Inanna, right? And then I can show you how it play out in modern politics.
Yeah, he got mad. Alien got mad when the people wouldn't accept him. He got mad because the people wouldn't, the tribal people here, they wouldn't accept him as rule over them. So he got sent off when after everybody didn't like him.
They got trapped here.
Go ahead.
Enlil and Enki, and Anu was on a stateside visit. He got trapped here too. Mm-hmm. He went back in 1975 to go resume his position on Nibiru. Mm-hmm. Right? Because he knew then, when he seen the working of Farrakhan and the working of Malachi, that he was leaving us in good hands. Mm. He knew. Anu knew. He said, the little nappy head boy, that little raisin head boy gonna figure it out. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right? And so when he said that, that was all that was needed for him to be able to get back to Nibiru. Mm-hmm.
And he wouldn't leave us left behind with just being left out without somebody coming to be able to clear everything up.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So his children, the children of Anu on Earth, is in Japan. They called the Anu, A-I-N-U in English.
But Bible said something like that, because he said that there was a certain group of children that was over here, like in the Central America and the West Coast, and he said that some of them sailed back. He said that some of them sailed back to Japan. He said that in one of his books.
Yeah, those are Anu children, the Anu. Mm-hmm. Enki children are the tribes of Africa. Mm-hmm. All of Europe and Asia, all the way in Australia, that's all Inanna territory, ISIS land. Mm-hmm. The world was broke up into three parts between Isis and Enki and Tahuti, which you know is Ninigajita. Mm-hmm. Right? So this territory over here, they wasn't supposed to involve in Anunnaki conflict. We were supposed to be left out of it, but when they got kicked out of Europe, when ISIS kids kicked them out of Europe, they had nowhere to go. Enki kids already kicked them out of Africa.
Oh shit! Oh look, check this out. Oh shit! Cause look, man, they showing that Stargate movie where ISIS came over here. Hathor, they got kicked out of ancient Egypt, and that's how you got the connection over in Mexico with the pyramids. And it had to be a while back, because like I was telling another brother the other day, I said them pyramids in Central America is older than the pyramids in Giza, because they got the same type of structures as when Imhotep was building the Stepstone pyramid. So they date back to around the same age, but they don't want to tell us that. They're giving us these off dates. But then they got a story in that Stargate movie where they talk about they ask why is all these ancient Egyptian symbols over here in Central Africa. And so that make a lot of sense what you're saying now. Go ahead.
Okay, now one of Enlil's wives is the one that we call the Great Dragon. Right? She have the anatomy of a man, but she's a female. She's XY chromosome. And when Enlil took power, when he pulled rank on Enki, is when he took over the house of Isis, which was where the Vatican in Rome is. That motherfucker way older than they telling us. Right? So she couldn't sit on the throne because she was anatomically male. So what did they do? They suspended the throne in the air, because if a man sat in it, it overthrows the whole system instantly. That's the seat of the Earth Mother. So what they did is they created her a room in the basement of the Vatican. Right?
All the books. And I was always wondering, why would they move that empire to Vatican? So it makes sense. It makes sense. And the way they got it set up with the obelisk and all that over there in the Vatican, it's all connected. Go ahead.
Right. So the books in the Vatican library is the books that used to be in the Library of Alexandria. Right. They told us they burned all of the books. That's not true. They burnt all of the duplicates. In order to give us the impression they burnt all the books. But they left with thousands of books heading to Rome going around the Mediterranean on horseback. Right? And so these was the children of Enlil that was doing all this. They the ones who put Alexander the Great in power. That was Enlil's biological son with a lady from Earth.
Man, this shit it make a lot of sense. Everything as you talking is like it's playing out in my head visually. That I'm making all the connections.
Right. So the reason why they put Alexander in Greece is because they needed to establish Rome. They needed to switch the gender of the rulership for seat 40, Isis seat of Earth, and they needed to get a power to seat 50, the masculine father seat of the Earth. When Enlil pulled rank on Enki, now they have to go hand-to-hand combat to fight for the seat. Enlil don't want to fight Enki. So he said, we're not gonna do it this way. Right? We're gonna do it through the children. We're gonna let the children have a thinking contest, and the greatest thinker gonna win. And Enki laughed his balls off. He said, "You sure you want to do that?" He said, "None of your children is smarter than any of my children." And Enki said, "Well, I'm gonna put all my money on my stepson."
Yeah. Okay.
Right, and his stepson was Ninigajita. Right. Yeah. So now here's the kicker: it's Enlil started naming his kids after Enki kids. So we thinking that when Marduk took over Nibiru, it's the same Marduk that was taking over on Earth.
Go ahead.
It wasn't. They was cousins. The Marduk that took over
Astar Command, it isn't. You're right, because it is another group that named they people the same as our people. The Astar Command group. Yeah.
That's that all that shit is traced back to Enlil. Now watch how it play out. Enlil named his son Marduk after Enki's son Marduk.
Wow. Yeah.
So Enki's son Marduk is the half brother to Ninigajita. Right? So the Anunnaki's misinformation is to blend them together, make them into one person so that none of the children are going to know different. But it's one of them that sent the half brother to go secure Nibiru so that Anu don't lose his throne while he's on Earth. So Ninigajita tell his brother, look, man, these motherfuckers gonna make a move for the big house. Go to Nibiru, secure everything, lock that bitch down, nobody in, nobody out. So when he changed the name of Nibiru to Marduk, that was to let Ninigajita know on the ground, this is secure up here. Now you secure that down there. So now Marduk, Enlil's son, offered a daughter to Ninigajita for his son to marry in an agreement that if he can figure it out, he would leave without a fight. He gone. They had him chained up. They called him the big hairy beast, chained up to the pillars in Antarctica.
Yeah, I heard something about that too. Yeah.
So when they went to him and they told him, look, it's some little nappy head motherfucker running around the earth telling people such so-and-so, he said, you better listen to him because he's right.
Wow.
So now we're at the part where the Galactic Council is lifting the light lock because we was trapped in the light lock. And when they lift the light lock, this is what's going to activate our latent DNA. And now we start to wake up and remember. Remember Papa say, I got to get these stories correct in y'all head. Once y'all realize the stories was told to and distorted, we have to straighten the story out for you to even know what's going on. So now we know what's going on.
Wow. Hey, like I say, Bible say every 25,000 years, 24,000 years, we got to come in and renew our history. So that's what's But it's a lot of stuff. Like I say, man, the brother Rob Haynes, it's like the way he tell a story is like, it's like real detail. Like, because like, and then I also saw in a vision one time, during a time when Tahuti was here, I said, man, I remember your face. I remember your face that you was there with us, and I remember your face, but I couldn't put it to the whole visual together. I said, man, I just remember his face. It's like when I see the brother, I remember his face. And it was during the time when we left Atlantis, and we went over and we lifted up in the ship and went over, and Tahuti said that he planted his ship under the Sphinx, and he put that as a landmark, and those books was right there under there. The books you're talking about, they took to that Vatican. He said we put the records under there, and I remember that in a vision, and I remember your face too. So I said, oh man, I know me and the brother Rob Haynes is connected because I remember his face. I just can't tell who you was back then. I just knew you was with us, and I'm like, man, this is deep. So now that we're connected, and how you putting it down, man, it's right on, man. So hey, just go ahead, man, because we got 200 people. Most of the people I ever had in live. We got 200 people on right now watching, and they tuned in, man. They say, oh yeah, this is it. This is it right here.
Okay, we're gonna go over one more thing, and then we're gonna go to Q&A from the audience.
Okay, all right.
Okay, now, if they gave us everything back, where are we at in the process right now? So this is what we need to know. This is the information don't nobody know. All of the chiefs are in the continuity of government, what we call the high chiefs. They in Colorado at continuity of government. This includes Baba. Right? This includes Larry Hoover, Angel Bay, Big Tukey, Farrakhan, Imam Jamal Alameen. Remember H. Rap Brown? It's a few more of them that's down there. But we needed 4 priests and 4 kings. And they all down there now. Right? So while we trying to alert the grassroots of what's going on, they are doing, taking the reins slowly, and they letting the narrative play out according to the awareness of the people. As soon as we get the critical mass of this shit is over with, that's when it all comes out to the cabal, the draining the swamp, all that shit come to the surface then. See, they vampires with their Babylonian blood magic. They came over here as blood suckers. And they was fighting us because we was the tribes that wore wolves in stealth. We wore the wolf pelt.
Yeah, the what they call them, the werewolves. That's in werewolves.
Yep, those who wear the wolves.
Yeah.
Now, when you read the story of Chief Pontiac, when he defeated the French in the Battle of Fort Detroit, which was Belle Isle, the French report said that they got sacked from behind them by giant wolves with mystical powers out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Right? So this is what they're talking about. The Wolf Clans was originally nomadic tribes that roamed the plains. When they got the word of what's going on, they sent contingents to several different places to help different chiefs. Right? So now you got werewolf versus vampire.
That's how you get the story of the underworld.
Now go back to that movie Underworld, but also go back to Twilight.
Yeah, Twilight too. Yeah, you're right. Oh shit, yeah, I watched it.
All of the werewolves, where was their culture? They was indigenous, right? Organic to the land.
Yeah.
And all of the vampires came from Europe.
Yeah, sure did.
Right? So the story is being told, but we overlooking it.
And we overlooking it as just like some shit that they made up. They can't make nothing up. They don't got access to the 4th dimension. Everything they put out is something that's based on a real story that they just encoded to where they thought we were slow and we wouldn't figure it out.
Yep. So the spell of sleep was a science experiment, Kingu. That's what made them collapse the collider, like the Hadron Collider over there in Switzerland.
They did that before, and they collapsed the fourth into the third, and that's why we need sleep. We ain't need no sleep before that. That's why they call it the spell of sleep. This time, we took over the collider because they was finna try to collapse the fifth dimension into the third, which would have made it go from an infinity loop to a triple infinity loop. We couldn't have that because this one is hard enough to get out of. So if they do it again, it'll probably be impossible, even for me. When I started this, Farrakhan said this gonna be like unscrambling the egg, and you think you can unscramble the egg? I say, well, it ain't never been done, but it's not impossible. And if it's a possibility, I can get it done. So how do you unscramble an egg? Reverse engineer that motherfucker. That means you got to go back to the plane of force. Well, all things are manifest into 3D reality, got to go through the plane of force. You put it back together at the source, and then the physical remnant will automatically reassemble. That's what we doing.
Now, that's a heavy deal. How do you re-scramble an egg? That's heavy right there, man.
Yeah, that's my first time ever hearing it. Yeah, it's difficult. It's damn near impossible. Yeah, but it ain't impossible.
Yeah, you gotta filter. You gotta put a filter. You can filter it, like filter it some kind of way. So you gotta filter. Look, you gotta filter out the lies.
Look, it ain't a scrambled egg till it's been cooked.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
You can't see clearly the yolk from the albumin. Right. So what you got to do? You got to go back to where it was created for. I mean, you got to have psychic time travel ability, because you needed to see what that egg was before it fell off the wall. Then you can know the potential that it was supposed to reach, and then you can just jump in and start reaching that potential.
Man, you deep, bro. You like, my head is like, man, I'm telling you, I'm having so many explosions, man, because it's a lot of stuff that you putting together that it's like you got your part, like I had my part and you got your part. Now when I can add your part to my part, I can see a whole nother, I can make the picture bigger. The picture is getting bigger, it's getting more bigger. The whole picture is getting bigger, man, because man, it's just, man, a lot of stuff you saying, because I'm writing that Majesties of America book. And man, it's like so much stuff the ancestors are dropping to me. And this right here, I know this was part of it for me and you to connect. This right here was part of it for me to get to more pieces to this thing, because I would have never made the jailhouse connection unless you said it on it. Unless you said it, that now they're gonna get me, because the type of person I am. Once I got that one connection, now I'm gonna go and dig on it. I'm gonna go dig on it. Okay, all right, let me see what's going on this jail thing. And let me see what's going on the Big Mama house. I already knew that I already kind of had an indication about the Big Mama house and the plantations with our land that we had at first. And it was like the big house. I already kind of like got that feeling. But it's a lot of stuff you dropping, man, that I'm making a whole, man, it's just blowing everything up. Like, woo, I'm having so many DNA explosions right now. This is crazy, man. This is crazy.
Yeah. So I'm gonna do this recap right quick. And then we're going to go into the questions from the audience.
Yeah.
All right. So they gave it all back, including reparations. That's the Indigenous Rights Act of 2017, United States. That is supported by the Indigenous Rights Act of the United Nations, which is now defunct. The continuity of government would tell us where we at in the process. Right? Once we become collectively aware at the grassroots level, the collective consciousness, critical mass activates the switch. Once the switch is activated, then the chiefs got to give a report on the land from what they see. Any one of the chiefs that make a statement and say this affects all clans, the other chief's job is to verify the information by cross-reference. Right? So now we need for Dane Calloway and Rizza Islam to review the Indigenous Rights Act of 2017 and see that it's all in there. They put on paper because they only operate through us on paper. We are oral tradition. So this becomes active on the turn side because Rizza Islam, he gonna do his part because Mother Khadijah gonna make sure he do it. And then Dane Calloway, once he see us talking and he see what we talking about, he's gonna do his part. Now he has to seize the records that they've been keeping secret from us, and they keep them in the caves. It's 3 locations around the land where our ancient records that precede 1492 is kept. They kept us out of it, but they know that we know where it's at now because I posted it already. Right? Now, Dane Calloway, grid hours, his research hours, he become, all of the tribes gonna have to send a research assistant that's well qualified to aid in sifting through the documents and putting it in a format that tribes can trace their roots. Right? So once we do that, we back in full control. But in the meantime, our control is on delay because of awareness or lack thereof out of the grassroots.
Right.
Now, all of the chiefs is already united at the top. We just trying to get the word to the grassroots that the chiefs is doing a part and that we need our clansmen to give us their support. Right? And the way that we give the support is each one teach one. When you become aware, you give a report by public notice to the clans on the land like we doing now. This our tradition, that's our culture. Once enough of us starts giving the report, then it starts building the momentum to reach the critical mass. We almost there. We almost there. So it's only gonna take a couple of us. I think if Rizza Islam do his part and Dane Calloway do his part, I think it'll be a done deal after that. I think it's gonna hit critical mass.
And you know what? I think the brother Dane Calloway was trying to get in touch with me. So yeah, I'm gonna be connecting that brother. Then we're gonna all connect. So because somebody sent me an email saying, hey, Dane Calloway wanted to holler at you. So I sent him he said send him the email. So I sent him the email. So I'm waiting on him to respond. So hey man, once that happened, bro, oh yeah, man, it's gonna get tight. We're gonna go through the eye of the needle. We're gonna go through the eye of the needle right there, bro. I'm telling you.
Hey, look, me and Dane was trying to call each other. Government kept blocking our call.
They tried to do something. Hey, when I was trying to call you, they was blocking it, and I was like, damn, why the call won't go through? And then you when I was trying to call you, then you called me. I said, oh shit. I said, oh yeah, okay, all right. That's what's going on. They try to stop it, and then look, I can even hear the echoes. And I say, oh yeah, they listen to this shit because they said, damn, Young Elder get in touch with Rob Haynes. Oh shit, this ain't gonna be good. But it is good.
So this like a conversation taking place on the prison yard with Larry Hoover and Malachi York. You know, that's the equivalent to that. So I guess before we go into the question and answer, we got to clarify a little Moorish question. We had 2 groups of Moors, good Moors and dirty Moors.
Yeah, Morons, the Morons. Yeah.
The good Moors was us who had to seize affairs. We had to do it by knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. All of the chiefs that seized the feds now got the feds on their feathers. Because no matter what happened, we ain't giving up our feathers. When you go back to the challenge of George Washington, you see they conveniently erased the feathers out of the agreement. Right? Because they never wanted us to come up or realize what's going on. Where did they hide the feathers?
Yeah.
They hid the feathers in the Harvest Festival. The Harvest Festival, we know it is Thanksgiving. Right? So what did the chiefs get for Thanksgiving? The Big Mama used to cook the head chief of the area. A big ass turkey. The turkey is the symbol for the chief. What happened? We smoked mad trees, we drunk with the enemy, and we ate a whole bunch of tryptophan. That's what's in turkey. And when we fell asleep, they massacred us on Black Friday.
That make, hey man, you cracking my head. Go ahead. It's like I half this stuff I already knew, but you line it the way you line it up. they're connected. This shit is heavy, bro. This shit is heavy.
Right. So with Thanksgiving, they couldn't get rid of because that's where they hid the feathers.
Mm-hmm.
Right. They couldn't put it in writing. They had to put it in images because we read images better than we read words.
Hieroglyphics, right? A higher form of glyphics.
Now, it's a brother. Let's give a shout out to the brother Kush Day, the real Kush Day on Instagram, who's going over this information piece by piece, what I'm talking about, inside the Moorish Lodge or the Moorish community, right? So go on his page on Instagram, and he gonna show you in writing, because they believe everything that's in writing. We'd rather go with what the pictures say.
Picture says 1,000 words.
Yeah, and they take 10 books to explain what we see in the picture. Right. So now we see it all. We know it all. Right. We clicked up now. We tried up now. Right. You're just waking up to the rest of the tribe. This all this is a wake up call.
Everybody, hey, it's gonna be I had this feeling, man, right now that it's gonna be a rapid awakening. Like it's the time, like we at a crunch time right now, where this is the last phase to us getting back to our original state, as far as like our land, who we are, like religion going out, like whatever the format of religion they had is going out, and it just now we coming back to reality, real reality on what's happening, what happened. The truth. Sometimes some people are gonna be in shock when they say, "Oh man, this and that," right? Some people are gonna be in shock. And I got like you said, you talking about the George Washington thing. I had found out that George Washington was born in Barbados, and that they got the George Washington House, and that he lived up into that house until he was 17 years old, and then that's when he joined the British Army. I also told people that King George was a more actually his bloodline traced back to Williams, because a lot of these last names that over here, they really are surnames, and these people didn't even have no surnames, and they told us that, oh, we were slaves to them, and that's how we got the name. No, they were slaves to us, and that's how they got the name. We put
they weren't slaves. They weren't slaves to us. They were colonized.
They were in servitude.
They can't. No, we didn't believe in that over here.
Okay, go ahead. They
came over here as colonizers, and we was fighting them. They brought slaves with them that made us rebel against them. This is why slavery has become so instrumental, because they came with slaves. They had them in bondage when they got here and made them $5 Indians. We went to go fight the war in the Seminole Wars. Why they call them Seminoles?
Look, I got a book coming on that called the Creek Wars and the Seminole Wars.
They called them Seminole. Seminole mean that they was a mixed clan.
Somebody knocking.
They called them Seminoles because they had soldiers from every clan. Far away as the Polynesian Islands. Look, when the settlers came, you could start walking treetops in Louisiana all the way to Florida without never coming down to touch the ground. Where in the fuck is our trees?
Right.
Now, if you go pull up the history books and pull up American lumberjacks, you see they was chopping the motherfuckers down ever since they've been here.
Hey, keep going. Somebody knocking on the door. I'm gonna let my wife in.
All right. So once the lumberjacks chopped down all the trees, that displaced what we call our Skywalker clans. That's what Tukey clan was, a Skywalker from Louisiana. We also lived at the roots of the trees and had houses built in the trees. They don't want us to know that stuff, but you can still see remnants of it in the bayou. Right? So you can see like old houses in the middle of the swamps in the bayou, and they wonder who the fuck live out here. There was a whole bunch of those. We was in the treetops and at the roots. Right? So they chopped our trees down. They burned the trees in Florida. They had forest fires, the same way they do in California right now. They was using the forest fires to flush us out. That's why the trees, when you drive through Florida, most people never notice all of these tree stumps that's ashed at the top. Very few of us notice that shit.
I drove through Florida before. Yeah, I know. Hey, I seen that, man. I drove through Florida before. I drove to Orlando. I remember that, like in Tallahassee, all these different spots. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's how they was trying to flesh us out. That's why they couldn't beat us, because this our territory. It's just like right now, you can have 100 niggas in Chicago. The police come, they hit them gangways. They only gonna get 4 or 5 of them.
Yeah, they gone.
They gone. You can't beat them on their territory.
Yeah.
Right? Until you are from the land. You had to be on their territory long enough to know it as well as them. We got infiltrated by motherfuckers that look like us, that wasn't us, that use pale faces to block institutions in a program called white supremacy. The white supremacy program is a galactic chess game between the organic people of this land and the conquistadors who came over to usurp. They lost.
And you also talk about, hey, because I heard you on that tape that I watched earlier. I kind of watched it like almost twice. And you said something about the Moors getting into the York rights and the Scottish rights. And I remember, man, this is another connection. All right, it's a movie called National Treasure Hunt with Nicolas Cage. You know, Nicolas Cage is a Knights of Templar. Now, they talk about Albert Pike getting a letter from Queen Victoria. I know that Queen Victoria is the point where they took over, because King George, he was a Moor, right? A Nubian. And then his son, he had a son named Prince Edward. They're trying to say that Prince Edward was, the Victoria was the daughter of Prince Edward. That's one connection, right? But then I did a research and found out that Prince Edward was headed back to tell them that wasn't his daughter. And then I did another connection of Victoria, because the British was over that land with the Mahdi in Sudan, right? He was fighting against these people. So I was like, damn, it's a whole bunch of, man, this right here shit is crazy. So what do you know about the connection with Queen Victoria? Because it seemed like from that point is when they began to take over that particular area. And it was like a connection over here from the 1715 when they started taking white convicts. Go ahead.
So the pale skinned people wasn't called white in Europe.
Yeah, okay, all right. Yeah, I know that. Yeah.
The white people in Europe was the nobility. That's why when you look white up in law, it don't mean the same as white in the colloquial language. Right.
Status.
Now, that's the first thing we got to understand, is that it meant nobility. Right? The whites were the ones who were free whites by law. Meaning that they don't, the law don't apply to them. Right? Now, when they use pale faces to block the institutions, they called the ones that they was using white folks. Right? But they not white in the classification in Europe, because they're not real royal nobility from the tribes. Over here,
that's right.
On Tahuti's land, you gotta amalgamate with one of the tribes when you come over here. You can't stay. That's always been that way. That's why it's called the Great Melting Pot, where you need one drop of blood in order to be part of the clans.
Yeah, they say that. Go ahead.
So what happened to all of the mulattoes, the octroons, and the quadroons after what we call Reconstruction? Where'd they go?
Right.
They went to be part of what we call the over society or the white society. Right? It's imitation of life. They passive, but they ain't them. But they can get in the institutions to get the secrets out. Once the secret's in the public domain, they can't hide it from us.
That's right.
And that's what got us in this shit, is the shit that they was doing in secret. We didn't know what they was doing, so we couldn't defend ourselves. So what Noble Drew Ali say? He said, I went into all their secret societies and I put the secrets in the public domain. Right?
That's right. Yeah.
That's the same thing Prince Hall did. Prince Hall was sitting there watching them doing the voodoo in secret, and he recognized that's our shit they're using to keep us oppressed. So what did he do? They wouldn't give him a charter over here. Why? because he couldn't keep people that look like me and you out. So what did he do?
Mm-hmm.
The people that kicked him out of Europe, he said, hey man, give me your charter so we can bust these motherfuckers in the Badissa.
Mm-hmm.
So they gave him a charter. He came back, and where did he set up his first lodge at?
And go ahead.
It was in New Jersey, right?
Yeah, I did a little research on him and found out. Yeah, I think he might have set it up in New Jersey. Then he later moved it. They later moved it to Philadelphia, didn't it, or somewhere in that area.
Right, but the first lodge was Prince Hall Lodge 345.
Like African, then he called it African Lodge 459. Or that's like that's after the fact. Because like you said, the first lodge was African Lodge 459. And then I was like, damn, so it must have been 459 or 400 and some African lodges prior to then. So, and they make that lot, they lie about that. They say that the Prince Hall was the first African first, they try to make that he was a slave and all this shit. So that he set up the first African lodge. But how could that be the first African lodge if he calling this lodge 459? You know what I'm saying?
Now watch this.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck is the lodge purpose anyway?
To meet and to talk secrets and shit, to keep everything from the public domain, I guess. Well, go ahead.
It's a rites of passage for royal families to learn how to read the land. To learn how to read the stars and match the two. Because when you can read the land and read the stars, you can't be deceived about what's going on the land. Right? But they hijacked the lodge from us. When they came over here, they killed off all our chiefs. Right? And if you watch the play of the hip hop community, you will understand that the East Coast, West Coast beef was to show us Chief Sitting Bull got caught sitting down on his post. And he let him wander right on past. So what he got to do? He got to take this public flogging. Why? Because he allowed him to sack the West Gate coming through the East. So now the West Gate got to punish him publicly so the North and South Gate know who the motherfucker was. Who let him in? He ain't mean to let him in. He was just being lazy.
Yeah. Sitting down.
Right? So when you look at how hip-hop hierarchy is, when you see that Biggie went to go battle Raekwon from the Wu-Tang Clan, he never got to Raekwon. Because Big Baby means Biggie Smalls, and Big Baby is Osiris, Big Baby Jesus. That's Chief Crazy Horse.
Yeah, Crazy Horse. Go ahead.
That's ODB. Right? Because he got to look crazy to the masses while he tell the truth. But he's running a red herring. He's drawing the heat because they already think that Tahuti gonna be on that type of level of craziness trying to put this shit back together. They didn't never know he was gonna be more Jigga-like, laid back, soft-spoken, ain't gonna say too much, but when he do come out, he gonna spit that fire. Right?
So like OJ, like the OJ joint.
Right.
Yeah.
So this the keys, 444.
Man, I knew there was something to that shit. I knew it was this, man. I was like, man, why you put that? Why you put the 444? Was it like some kind of secret code? Okay, all right, now we got it.
That means the angel on the square. 44 means angel. And the single 4 mean on the square.
4 angles, yeah.
It's a blue angel and a red angel. The blue angel is Big Tukey, Skywalker. The red angel is Chief Malik Angel Bay. He is the Chief Mufti. He from the Red Lodge. He come to fucking spill some goddamn blood. Tukey from the Blue Lodge. He came to club some motherfuckers upside the head. When them Crips get to sea walking and them Bloods get to be walking, they giving these motherfuckers the juice. Metaphysically speaking, we thinking it's cool. That's some sweet shit. Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, that shit's some serious shit.
That's why that's why a lot of Crips, if you ain't no real Crip, they see you sea walking. It's like a rite of passage. It's like a ritual type thing.
You got to tell us who taught you
serious.
that shit, where you learn it from, why you doing it. Now in Detroit, we got something called the Detroit Jit. It's the same. It's crooked walking from our part of the land. Right? Now in Chicago, they got something called stepping.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Oh, that's conjure. Those are conjures. Right? So, I mean, this is a rap. As long as once the people get the message clear that this is a rap, the shit gonna be a rap.
That's all we gotta do is get it in our minds. Yeah, that's a rap. I've been saying it. Well, come on, one of cause, and once we come all together and know this as a collective, they're gonna happen. It's gonna just like be an automatic thing.
Right. So in the Indigenous Rights Act, they gave us a right to reclaim the land.
Self-determination.
They gave us a right to our wealth, which is Big Mama's coffers, which is Pharaoh money. Right. They getting out of our way, but if we don't do anything, there's nobody here to take over. So they're going to continue to run their narrative until the grassroots get to the point where we see it. Oh shit, this shit over with. Right. So I tell you where it's at in the documents. Don't believe me. Check it out, as Baba would say. Go check it out and get your own self convinced.
Man, you cracking heads, man. Like we got 270 joint. This I hear the highest amount of people I had on the live, man. Everybody up in this joint listening. And like I said, if you got any questions for the brother Rob Haynes, just drop them in the comments, and then I'll read them out to him, because a lot of this stuff is over people's head. You know what I'm saying? It's heavy duty stuff right here, man. Because a lot of people they like, man, what is he talking about? Because they don't got enough your level of information is so on a level that if you ain't got enough small information to put out little stuff like I already know what you're saying, because I've been on the same path, the same research on the natives and all that. So I understand exactly what you're saying, and they gave me like an eye. We like them people on They Live. We got those glasses on, those natural glasses where we can see straight through that shit. Like they play shit on TV. I say, oh shit, like they play like shit like take this drug and it's gonna help you with this, but you're gonna get 25 other side effects. I say, man, people that hear that shit. So me and you like that. We can hear the truth. You can hear the truth through the lies. And a lot of people can't do that. So they say, oh shit, man, what is this cat saying? What is he talking about? He's going crazy. No, nigga, this shit ain't no crazy shit. This is that shit that come down from Big Mama. And y'all say it's coming straight from Big Mama, straight from the Mother Nature. And because Big Mama was connected with Mother Nature. You know what I'm saying? Big Mama can go outside and tell you it's gonna rain, it's gonna snow, it's gonna be this, right? The Big Mama had that connection. And we always listen to Big Mama. But some kind of way, they had to cut us out from it. They had to cut us off from that Big Mama connection, because we would have still been in charge if we would have listened to Big Mama. Big Mama told us they were coming. He said they were coming. They're gonna come, like Dr. Sabi used to say. He says his mama told him that they're gonna come for you eventually, man. You know, they're gonna eventually come after you. That was their Big Mama talking, right? Big Mama always give you a warning too. She always give the warnings. You know what I'm saying? That's the connection. And so, like I said, if you got any questions for the brother Rob Haynes, drop them in the link, man. Drop them in the comments, man. So records who were available be through some of us know our family history. So we ain't got no connections now. They just saying they listening, man. They getting their head cracked. Everybody dropping fire signs and Jews. They got a whole bunch of Jews. They say there's Jews dropping from the heaven, man. So we got it going on up in here, man. Like I say, got any questions, man? Hit the brother Rob Haynes up, man. I got a question though. Go ahead.
If our tribes was as aware as we was when they came, they would be having family gatherings, playing this live in front of the whole family, collecting questions to ask me and you, Dane Calloway and Rizza Islam.
I'm gonna get Dave Calloway on. My bad. I'm gonna get me, you, and Dale Calloway gonna do a live. As soon as the brother get up with me, because somebody already sent me the information, and I sent him my email. So as soon as he get up with me, we all gonna get together and we're gonna put this thing together, man. We're doing this thing right. Make it final, because this is a Zion, man. It's inevitable. Like Agent Smith said in the Matrix, this is inevitable.
That's the sound of
all this.
Look,
go ahead.
That's the sound of inevitability, Mr. Anderson.
You know, so hey, look, I used to work on this job as a security guard, and this dude, this dude used to always walk up to me. This one dude, and he say, I wonder why he said that the dude was crazy. He say, Mr. Anderson. He used to always say that to me, Mr. Anderson. Every time I see him, he say, Mr. Anderson. And then when I watched The Matrix, I was like, oh shit, this dude right here must be an agent or something. And he tried to say that I'm one of them dudes that like the one or somebody. Like it's a whole bunch of us, you know, that's out here, that's coming out, and we just got that natural, like you said, we conjured up. We conjured up. Every time they go out to when they got rid of they killed Noble Drew Ali, and they went out to Baba, all these people, and they say we stopped them, but they didn't stop us. They just conjured up niggas like me and you. They just and if they just conjured up other beings who gonna be more adamant about it. You ain't gonna stop what's about to happen. It's gonna happen with us or without us. It's gonna happen. Somebody else will pop up, and it's gonna be non-stop until it's restored. It's gonna happen, man. This is gonna happen.
Big Mama say, if y'all need my baby boy, I'm gonna have him here. But don't call him if y'all don't need him, because he's really not gonna be easy to deal with. Right? And then they called me. I came.
It's happening, man. You crack it heads,
So,
I tell you.
in the language, in the lingo, I came off a tit for tat, knock to a knockback, 2-bar cane to a 4-corner shuffle, from a vice lord line to a gangster disciple out of a peace stone nation. Right? I can trace me back eons. Right?
That's another question. Hey, this symbol right here, like the star. Larry Hoover against disciples, one of them had that sign, and everybody was wondering, man.
Yeah, that's GD.
Yeah, they was wondering, man, how did somebody try to say it's a gang and all this, but why he making that connection? And then why he calling himself disciples, as in like disciples of Christ or something like that? Because it was deeper than the gang. It wasn't just no gang. That shit was like a tribal thing. And Larry Hoover was on a whole nother level. They just painted him out as a gang banger. Because
listen,
go ahead.
If you look up the word gang, it's gonna tell you it means clan.
Yeah.
We don't look shit up. That's how we get tricked on the narrative.
The word gang.
Yep.
And gang stars mean a clan of stars.
They told us, look, they told us the 6 was called the Magen David, or the Shield of David, and the 5 was called the Seal of Solomon. That's backwards. Right? The 5 is the Magen David, the 6 is the Seal of Solomon. King David Barksdale was the king of all kings on the land, was the sole high chief until they murdered him. His son got videos on YouTube right now, David Barksdale Jr. Look him up and listen to him. Because he is the heir to his father's estate. Larry got 2 sons. He got Larry Jr. and then he got Little Larry. Little Larry right now is his hands and feet in the street. Larry Jr.'s got a different function. He has to stay tied to the hip to David Barksdale Jr. Because it's the bloodline link. They was raised from the cradle together. They always knew each other. Right? And you can't separate one from the other without causing the problem. That's what you call getting to know your brother. Right? All of them right now is in agreement that we need Larry out of that cage. Which on the surface, it looked like he's still there, but he's in the continuity of government waiting on us to reach critical mass so he can give us the report from the land from all of the chiefs. He got the report. Right? He even got the report from the Scottish Rite Lodge that infiltrated us. So he got all of the paperwork he needs. Now he just need the clansmen, the grassroots, to understand what's taking place, so they're not caught in a shock that causes them to have nervous breakdowns.
Hey, that's another thing. Okay, question. They say, how, like the Scottish Rites, could you break down it? The Scottish Rites infiltration on us?
Yeah, the Scottish Rite came as conquistadors. They settled in New Jersey and upstate New York. This is when they say Sitting Bull was sleeping on his post, right? And they are the ones who sent Albert Pike to establish the corporate jurisdiction over our Iroquois Confederation, right? The Cherokee is the cherry tree.
Yeah.
Right? That's the key. The Cherokee is not our original tribal name.
That's right. I know that. Yeah, go ahead.
What became known as a Cherokee was the Washita D. Dung the Mound Builders, the Mississippians. Right? The largest clan on the land. They called them Cherokees because George Washington chopping down the cherry tree. That's mythology. That's dogma. That's used to usurp the morals, the moral clause, right? We forego our moral duty to do our due diligence because we get caught in the dogma, right? So the key is the cherry, which is two fruit on a single stem. They come out in pairs, right? These are princess and the prince. On the same family line with two different birthrights to the land. One is the father's son and the other one is the mama's daughter, or vice versa, right? Blue Lodge is the father lodge, red lodge is the mother lodge, the black and gold lodge is Big Mama Lodge, right? Or Big Mama House. Vice Lord's black and gold, GD's blue, Keystone's red. Angel Bay had to send T. Rogers to the West Coast to organize the red because when Tookie started the blue, it caused the red to form into a tribe because they had to match energy. So Tookie became, right, so he became a de facto chief of the Red Lodge, but the juror chief for the Blue Lodge. So now he has to pass the Red Lodge to Angel Bay. The blood's got to be.
Hey, this is another thing too, man. Oh shit, you just made me think of something else. All right, the name Washington, and right, you got Raymond Washington. He connect back to the Wichita Native American Indians, and then the Williams connect to a royal bloodline, all the way going back to King George, all the way back to the Fall people. Man, this is heavy, bro. That makes like people think this shit is crazy, but it's really some shit that is over their head, man. Go ahead. That's crazy.
Those royal King George, the first, second, and third, them was the reign of the kings being kicked out of Europe. The Bar Association was first incorporated in Savannah, Georgia by King George III. And that's how they had to establish their legal lease on the land using the Bar Association. All barristers, right, and all barristers are nobles under the crown of England with titles of nobility prohibited in the Iroquois Confederation Constitution. Well, now you can still see it in Article 1 two times. You can see it in Article 1, the government shall not issue any titles of nobility, and then you say the states shall not issue any titles of nobility because the corporate jurisdiction can't issue titles of nobility. You have to be a royal. So all of the barristers' titles of nobility is issued by something called letters patent of the Crown of England.
That's right.
That's why none of the law books is copyrighted over here. They all copyrighted in London, but all the rest of our books is copyrighted in Washington, D.C. Right? So the Scottish Rite was on a ship called the Plymouth. And what Malcolm said,
Plymouth didn't land on Plymouth.
Plymouth Rock landed on us.
Yeah.
We know Plymouth in modern history books be called the Mayflower. They took us to World Court which held everything up for 200 years while the resolution is being resolved from a shipwreck.
Mm-hmm.
They said we crashed our landmass into their ship.
Yeah,
and,
I read about this. Go ahead.
Right.
I'm on it. I'm right on you. Yeah.
That's why Malcolm said we didn't land on Plymouth Rock. We didn't crash into their ship. Their ship crashed into our land.
Yeah.
Trump kicked the British ship out of the bay down in DC, which overthrew the royal family of Europe that was being puppeted by Queen Elizabeth.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now, the only thing we had to do now was seize and capture the papal bulls, where the Pope said we was all imbeciles in law. To be an imbecile in law, if you 3/5 compromise, a Dred Scott slave.
Mm-hmm.
That means you really got the right, but you don't know how to assert it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So when you become 5/5 realized, not only do you have the right, but now you know how to assert it, which overcomes the last two of the 5/5 realization. Right? And 5/5 is May 5th. Right? Which just passed.
Yeah, that's right.
Right.
Ooh,
now, if you go back 2 years, May 5th, you'll see that the Notre Dame University caught fire.
Yeah, yeah.
But
yeah, okay, go ahead.
It was actually zapped by a ship. It was actually zapped by UFO. The UFO was sitting there the whole time.
Man, you make it, man.
But the people that was there didn't even see it.
And that's connected with the Celts. Look, like this, what you saying? Because you know that Notre Dame is like you got the symbol of the man. What you saying? Like a lot of people might think that what you saying is crazy, man, but it's all making sense to me, and it's giving me like the next step that I need. This book, Black Celts, talking about the Irish, and man, now you
okay. So
my head,
when you bring the Irish up, Irish is the English rendition of the word Orisha. And St. Patrick killing off the snakes, he was murdering the priests. The Scotta and her sister Scotia had to flee. They tried to kill Scotta, and she fell off something called an abbey. Right into the ocean. When she fell into the ocean, her sister dived in to save her. Right, but the Catholic army was in pursuit. Right, and they was extracted from the water by somebody called Vikings, which executes the Queen's law on the water, on the high seas. Right, so they brought them over here as a safe haven because none of the shit that they was doing in Europe was supposed to come over here. So now they looking for two sisters, Scotia and Scotta. Both of them is very light with red hair. Nova Scotia in Canada is where Scotia went. Scotta went into the Mississippi Delta. Now, when they found Sacagawea and Pocahontas, because they had auburn red hair, they thought they was the one. They took them to Europe for confirmation, and they found out that they not the one. Take their ass back over there. Right? So when they bring them back over here, that tells all the chiefs on the land they thought they had it, but they ain't got shit. It's a galactic chess game. They trying to seize the empress. Right?
Okay.
So if you don't know who Scotta was and her ties to the pharaohs, then you won't know who these people are.
Hey, I'm just about checking the comments, see if anybody leaving a question. Hey, look, man, I'm telling you, the shit that you saying, man, it's like it's all coming together now for me, man. It's making a serious connection because, like, you know what, like it's stuff that I didn't connect together, and it's like now you making it everything. It's like the Tahuti gave me a long time ago. He gave me a key. He said tie it all in together. It's all connected, right? And now you connecting it for me, man. You connecting a lot of shit for me, and the way you telling me, the way you giving me the story, is now I can put it all together like a puzzle, man. I can say, oh shit, the Pocahontas connection. Oh, this the school burning, the school getting set on fire, the black Celts, and and what you just said about the Queen Scott. They talk about that in this book, about everything you just said about that. I think it's in this book. I think we skimmed over it in this book where it says that that she died and all that. They chased her out. All that's in this book right here. This book called A Black Celts. And I was like, man, now you making that shit. It's like, this is ordained, bro. This is ordained for me to hear this. But I'm glad I'm recording. I'm glad we're recording this. So I'm gonna go back and I got notes on this shit. I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna do some heavy shit, man. The next time we come on live, I'm gonna have more research. I'm gonna have more shit that put together. This right here is the end, bro. I'm telling you, it's the end for them right here. This is the end for these people, man. They probably spooked out right now on this shit. Go ahead.
The only thing I'd ask the people that's listening is share, and then share again. Because this is the one that got it all spelt out. It's all spelt out now. And it only boils down to one question. They got either a yes or no answer. Do you want your shit back or not?
Yeah. You want your shit back or not? Hey, some people, they don't even want it back. They want this. Why can't we just all just go on and live like we living? Because they live.
We can't do that, man. It's too many babies being raped and molested for us to let it go on. It's too many sisters being abused and misused for us to let it continue. Right? So the only question is now is, are you with the pedophiles or are you with the ones fighting the pedophiles? Are you with the adrenochrome drinkers? Or are you with the ones fighting the adrenochrome drinkers? Are you with the ones who believe that domestic violence is normal, or the ones that think the domestic violence is a hostage crisis disguised as a love affair? Right? So this is what we up against, and it's up to our people just to make each other aware. We don't have to do nothing but spread the awareness. Right? And make your celebrities speak up. They scared. Kanye ain't scared. Drake ain't scared, but the rest of them scared. Now, some of them already spoke up, like Ice Cube. He been told y'all that.
Yeah, that's why they took him off scene. Yep.
We just news reporters reporting what's going on in our community. Right? Remember,
hey,
what's 1992.
Hey, what's the connection between they talk about the gold rush, right? When they was coming over here, Albert Pike and his letter from Queen Victoria. So how does that connect with the Scottish rights and that gold rush? Was that a cover up to say just to get over here and start hacking?
Remember when the conquistadors came? First of all, the word conquistador means conquest of Tudors. The Tudors is the royal family, right? So when they came, they wanted to get the gold to give it to the Anunnaki. That's one problem. The ship that was the carrier ship, we call it the Crystal City. It flew away. They call it the Ark. Genesis 7:1-7 say that they lifted it up into the air. But they told us that Atlantis sunk under the ocean. It didn't sink, it flew away.
That's right.
It's going to return in Revelations as the Crystal City. And on there is going to be Inanna, who's going to tell everybody who the goddamn area is to the earth rights at this point.
Yeah, I see. Hey, 2022 is this year that marks all of the stuff that this right here was a significant year to mark all the returns of like with everything you saying. This right here was a significant year because even Zachariah Stitchin, who was a damn sucker, tried to hide all the truth from us and didn't want us to really connect with the Anunnakis and all that. He said, he said in one of his books, 2022 is when these people return and they return to their rightful place. He said this.
Do you know 2022 is called a Jubilee year?
What? Yeah, like it's a lot of stuff that I don't know everything, so I just know.
Look,
my
the Jubilee.
Go ahead.
The Jubilee is when all debts are settled.
Ah, that makes sense there.
It's written in the Hebrew culture that when the Jubilee come, all criminals is forgiven, all debts is forgiven, just don't do that shit no more.
Yeah.
Now, not only is this a Jubilee year, but it's a transitional year from Piscean age to Aquarian age, from believing age to knowing age. They can say what the fuck they want to say. I don't believe none of this shit. I know this shit. Because I can sit here and rattle the references off all goddamn day long without missing a beat. But most of the people that's adversarial to what I'm saying won't never check the reference.
It's right. That's right. Or their brain can't. It's a lot of people, they genetics and their brain is not made to go to this certain high level. They stuck at the third dimensional level. But the people that's like the fourth dimension and that's in the fourth dimension and that's getting ready to transition to the fifth dimension, they got an idea of understand what you're saying, like me. But based on all my research and the path that I was on, I know you ain't talking crazy because it's all even when you say it without even me researching. Even when you say it, it just automatic. A lot of stuff you saying automatic resonate with me. It's like I know it to be true. You know what I'm saying? I know it to be true just based off it's just in my DNA. It's just like it's on a path that I'm on. You know what I'm saying?
So this what I like to do. I like to challenge the people that be watching to give a donation to one of the oracle readers and ask them one part of whatever they hear me say, if it's true or not true. And let the oracle read, because they don't never come to the same conclusion. You're not gonna go to two tarot readers and get the same answer. But when I had 17 different tarot readers read on Larry Hoover, they all told me the same thing.
Wow.
He the chief on the land that's supposed to be talking. Right? Now you got people that's GDs that don't have a fucking clue what I'm talking about because they mind is stuck into the gangbang mode.
Yeah. Criminal.
Well, right. Well, Larry told me we ain't gang banging no more. We brain banging now because all the secrets is out in the open. Put it together. My big mama told my mama, don't worry about it. He ain't gonna leave no stone unturned. So here we go. Drag all that shit out in the open. Let the people see what's going on.
That's right.
Right? And the more people become aware that this shit a rap, the faster we can close this motherfucking shit out. Separate from the system. Shut down their corporate world. Leave them motherfucking slave motherfucking institutions they call jobs. Fuck a job. But everybody talking about, well, what am I do about? Figure it out. I had to figure it out. I left my job 3 years ago.
You know, I lived on a Native American reservation. I had a chance like about I think it was 2010 when I lived in New Mexico, Albuquerque, and I made friends with these Navajo people that's out there, right? And two of them worked on my job, and I was telling them, man, we was the real Indians. And they said, man, you know what, our chief used to say that about this, right? So I went on the land, and they don't pay for electricity. They don't pay a lot of stuff, and they get like about around $2,000 a month, like between $1,500 and $2,000 a month from the government. But that's supposed to be really this money that we supposed to be getting. But we don't know. We just going around calling ourselves black and saying that we from Africa. They painted this whole story, and that's what that got us. It set us back, not knowing that we was on this land first. We indigenous. We organic to this land. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
And it's people that's claiming our rights. Because with long as it's like they put another person in place of us. They put these Chinese mixed people and these the people that Andrew Jackson military raped in our place, and they say, oh yeah, these are Indians. But I heard like on Dave Calloway tape where he got Donald Trump saying they don't look like Indians to me. You know what I'm saying? They don't look like Indians to me because he know that we the people, man. That's why he hate Donald Trump. Donald Trump, man, it was something about Donald Trump that I like. A lot of people don't like Donald Trump, but it was something about Donald Trump that I like. And they had to beat that dude out of his election because they know that he was doing something that was gonna go against them because you know his family. Hey, close this door for me, baby. Hey, his family got exiled from that particular secret order. His family they filed him as they made him go bankrupt. His family they made him go bankrupt and all that. Hey, close this door. They made him go like bankrupt, and so he had like a vendetta against them because how they did his family. And so he's coming out and releasing certain things. Even George W. Bush Sr. did the same thing. He, when they started turning against his family, he released the 1992 rights of indigenous people. They were mad about that. And at his funeral, he passed at his funeral. He told his lawyer, he said, wait till our funeral to pass out these things. And he passed a note out to all of them, and they said they know everything. It's the end.
So he was the leader. The George Herbert Walker Bush was the Illuminati leader on this land. He had all of the Americas. That's why they was going to the Amero, and they was going to something called the NAFTA agreement. The NAFTA agreement was supposed to segue into the unified American government under one banner. And that was supposed to have been their New World Order, because remember, when Columbus came, they called this the New World.
Yeah.
The American military have something called the Leviathan Force. Do the math. Bible wrote a book called Leviathan 666. What's the correlation? You understand what I'm saying?
That's a good question, because then he put Donald Trump, I think, on one of the covers of that book. Yeah, that's a good question. That's connection right there. Go ahead.
Yeah. So when they talk about the Leviathan, the great serpent, that's because you got to listen to the general that explained it. You might be able to find him on YouTube, but I caught him on a lecture that was on C-SPAN about 3 o'clock in the morning, and it wasn't supposed to be very many people up at the witching hour. Right? He broke it all the way down. What the Leviathan Force was, how it works. He says it's a serpentine fashion of military bases around the world.
Wow.
Right?
Wow.
And the head falls on the Pentagon in Washington.
Wow.
Right.
Wow.
So then you go back to Dwight D. Eisenhower's military industrial complex lecture. And that tells you everything you need to know at that point. And then you can add on the JFK message to the Associated Press, where he broke down the whole conspiracy. Right? So it's all there. I know where it's all at.
Wow.
I'm just trying to get our people to wake up and see that this shit is over with.
It's the end. And look, that's what I was saying, man. Look, the stock market is crashing. They out of business. They've been out of business. That's why people playing the stock market now. You need to get out, because it's worse than it was in the pandemic. Everything is going down. It's like everything, and then they study stealing money from these people to try to keep that government afloat. But
you know how they keeping the government afloat?
Go ahead.
Everybody that's going to work, every time they clock in, that's a new contract. It's called it's a per diem contract. They operating per diem by the day. Per diem means per day. Yeah.
Like I used to get paid per diem $60 a day on a job that I worked on an all field job. Yeah.
So when the corporate fiction fail, the only thing they can do is operate per diem until there's not enough people for them to make it to the next day.
Wow.
In a per diem capacity, then they can finance tomorrow, but they can't finance Monday.
So it's day by day. They like day by day now. Wow.
Now, if you go back to their last bankruptcy, it say right in the last bankruptcy congressional hearings that they have to go to day by day now, and they couldn't get a loan. Nobody on earth would give them a loan.
That's right. Go ahead.
So now they relying on people to go to work, go to school, all of their institutions of oppression, support, go to court. Right? And as long as we are supporting a system, they can operate per diem until we meet critical mass on the side. That's the liberating force. We haven't reached critical mass yet, but we close, but we ain't there.
Yeah. Even, hey, you know what you saying, man? Like even the election, the way they did it, it had to be it's the bottom time. Like the election, they had to get everybody to sign and agree to this particular government situation. They had to get a certain amount of people to agree to it. It's always that's why I said this whole thing is based off contracts. Their whole system. Yeah, I mean, adhesion contracts. And most of them, like, go ahead, they'll tell you. Go ahead.
We've been knowing the whole time they've been stealing every election with the Electoral College. This time they tried to steal it with the popular vote and override the Electoral College. But the military was monitoring, the military special ops was monitoring the election system so they can catch exactly when they rigged the election. They can tell you who did it, where they was at, how they done it. It's already recorded. All this shit recorded. It just haven't been presented in the public format for the people because the people are still following a ghost narrative. So as long as they chasing waterfalls and they ignoring all of the streams and rivers that they used to, they can't get no TLC. That shit come after the awakening.
Hey, so what happened? What happened with okay, Donald Trump was after these guys, and it was like it was going public about the secret islands they was on, and the adrenochrome, and the underground places they was using to traffic kids, a lot of the military bases they was using. And then all of a sudden, when Joe Biden got in, it's like you ain't heard nothing about Anthony Weiner's laptop. You ain't heard nothing about none of the Jeffrey Weinstein shit, Weinstein, whatever his name is. You ain't heard nothing about none of that. All they is promoting, is crazy shit. Now they ain't telling us what really happened.
Right. Well, here's the thing. Donald Trump has been, Mar-a-Lago was the capital of the Seminoles. That's the part we got to keep in mind. We all went to go fight Seminole Wars for a reason. That's why Mar-a-Lago is the second capital. When he left DC, he took the nuclear football with him. He can't. You can't leave with the nuclear codes and that Secret Service in on it. Wow. So he still got the nuclear codes, which means who is the president? Right. So they running their dog and pony show, but so now he have to go to the continuity of government. So if you pay attention, periodically they'll say Donald Trump is in Colorado. That's because he got to go meet with the heads of the tribes in order to find out what to do next. They all there.
That's right. I see what you're saying. Like the Colorado Springs area, that's where that underground base had, the Seminole Complex. It's another group. They control most of the nuclear technology out of the missile codes. Right there, that's really like the secondary central base for the whole military. Really, people don't know that in Colorado. Yeah.
Right now, the borders is closed. Been closed for 2 years, and nobody's not noticing it. You can't have open borders while you're going through transitional government. If you look at China, Japan, all of them, the borders is closed. The Russia, Ukraine war is old. That's not new. That's not in real time.
Yeah, theatrics. Yeah.
UK is United Kingdom. They talking about the reign of the United Kingdom being deposed by the Red Lodge rushing in. Right? Because the Russians is red. And the Red Lodge is the Mother Lodge, and Mama's Boys is led by Chief Malik Angel Bay. So they're using the Ukraine war to tell the chiefs who can win talk what's going on the land over here. The narrative they giving us in the media here is not the narrative being painted by the people over there. They not telling the same story. Somebody lying or somebody flipping codes. So when Russia sees Ukraine, that's the symbol of the Muftis, the Red Lodge, seizing the government, putting the end to the UK reign. Now remember, George Washington from where?
Barbados.
What color is their flag? Blue and gold, right?
Yeah, blue and gold. Yeah.
What color is the flag of Ukraine?
Ukraine is blue and gold, ain't it?
Yep. Now look at this. On the GD symbols, there's 2 pitchforks.
Mm-hmm.
All right. On the Barbados flag, it's a trident.
Uh-huh.
And on the Ukraine flag, they trident is made out of an eagle.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm with you.
So now we got blue and gold, which means the blue line seizing the money. That was when we sent Donald Trump to the Philippines to get the certificate that frees up our wealth on this land. Mm-hmm. He already did that. Right? So now, here we go again. It's just about getting the word out. That's it. Now we need to take over the media. But the media can't be taken over until the people is not relying upon it. As long as they relying upon it, they contracting with them. Mm-hmm. So they got all this shit. Is everything that they did was designed to trap us somewhere. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. They didn't leave anything not weaponized, from the food to the medication to the medical facilities to the educational facilities. Everything was designed to oppress us, undermine us, and make us forget who the fuck we was. Mm-hmm. Some of us ain't gonna never forget. We got long memories. Mm-hmm. So when they ain't watching the long game as a collective, individuals watching the long game. Mm-hmm. They ain't even watching the short game too well. So that's.
Hey, let me do this. Let me do this because I want to make it 2 parts. So what I'm gonna do is everybody on this live now go to a part 2 because they don't like watching it 5 hours. So I'm gonna cut it.
No, we gonna cut this one here, and give you a chance to go rehash the information.
Yeah. Hey,
and we gonna do the part 2 in a day or 2.
Yeah, okay, that'll work. Hey man, because I'm gonna sit down and put this together, man. Because you just gave me so much like clues to where I could. Because once you give me a clue, I'm like McGruff dog. Well, I'm gonna sniff about. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna sniff about because it's so many connections you just made for me, and I can say, oh shit, it's all happening to me, man. Oh, man, this right here, because I got so many books, man. You can see behind me. I got a lot of books, and I got a lot of stuff connected in. The way I research, man, like I'm a real investigative research type dude. So when I make the connect, and I can see through the lies, I can see, okay, I can see where they cover that up, or where they try to switch this around and put that there, and they try to make this like they connected. I can do that type of research, you know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna do that, man. And like we want to shout out everybody that was in the building, man. And this right here was hey, I want to thank you, brother, for coming on, man. This right here, when we do the second one though, I'm gonna be definitely ready to add more in on this and make the connections. Because a lot of the stuff you said is I already knew it. And then the new stuff that you said is like a explosion in my brain, like damn, that is right. That is right. The Bible said that, he says a lot of stuff where people said, if you got a certain type of energy, you will know that it's right just based off when they say it. You will just know that it's right. It's an energy that you can pick up on and say, okay, this brother.
We call it knowing without knowing.
Yeah, so I know that what you saying is true, man, because it's just too much. It's too much detail into it, man. The way you breaking it down, because like it's a prison in Texas that my brother was at, man, and I saw that prison. I said, damn. And when you said it, I said, damn, that prison in Texas looked like a damn castle. Like it had been there for. It's like the oldest prison in Texas. I was like, damn, what the hell? So it looked like a castle. I'm like, oh shit, son, that shit is crazy. That shit is crazy. So man, I was like, oh shit. And then like most of the people that's in jail, they in jail because they don't really know their nationality. They don't know that this is what's happening to them is really illegal. And most of us volunteer for shit without even knowing it. That's what like your driver license. He's in contracts. You volunteer without even knowing, because they don't tell you what the stipulations and stuff is. Like oh, you this and that. They just let you.
You know how they covered themselves. You know how they covered themselves from that in the law, right?
How?
Ignorance is no excuse of the law.
Yeah, they did say that. Yeah, that's right.
Right.
That's right.
Because you don't know don't mean we ain't gonna enforce this shit.
We still ain't gonna stick it to your ass just because you don't know. Hey, that ain't our fault you don't know. You should have did your own research type of thing. That's crazy, man. Yeah, but
so,
hey, go ahead.
For the people that's watching, y'all need to get this to RZA Islam and Dane Calloway to review, and they know what to do after that. They just need somebody to give them the information, put it in their plate. They ain't gonna do his due diligence. Ain't no secret about it.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Right. They gave it all back. It's in the Indigenous Rights Act of 2017, and right now we operating under the FEMA, which is short for female. Right. And the continuity of government document is a FEMA document, which is taking us back to the matriarchy. Right. So the only thing we got left now is to get RZA Islam and Dane Calloway to see what's going on, and they do their part, and that ties all four corners together at Big Mama house.
Hey, we finna be at Big Mama house, eating us some pancakes and waffles, man. About to go down. Hey, Big Mama, I'm telling you, man.
I be telling them it's gonna be Mardi Gras all over the land.
Man, I'm telling you, because that Mardi Gras is our shit too, from the Chatas down in Louisiana. We the first ones that started doing fillet of fish. And we used to hide our food behind waterfalls to keep it hold on. Man, who is it calling me? Hey, we used to hide our food behind waterfalls. What most of the military bases is set up at? They set it up to around our food source so they can starve us out. That was part of it too. A lot
of them used to be kept in salt mines too.
Yeah, salt mines.
So Chief Warhorse, you ever heard of her?
Yeah, Chief Warhorse. Yeah, that's what she like to lead the Chata Nation. Yeah.
Look, if you know how to get in touch with her, I really want to talk to her.
Man, I think I want to say they got rid of her, man, because at one point they try to run out of New Slidell. She claimed Slidell, Louisiana, the whole area is Slidell, Louisiana is Chata, dark skinned Indians, and she had found paperwork. Yeah,
that's true. She know what she's talking about.
Yeah,
look, she come from a whole line of chiefs.
Yeah.
She don't know nothing else but the truth.
Yeah.
She fucked up at us not knowing what's going on, and we from the land.
Yeah, I got videos of her on my page. I got videos of Chief Warhorse on my page. Yeah.
Yep, I got clips from her on my Facebook and my Instagram.
Yeah, that lady really claimed the land, and she can verify really what we saying for real. Because she already went over to the Geneva courts and filed a paperwork, and they gave her land. They gave her land back, 68,000 acres, and they got their own police and everything. They own whole government structure in Louisiana, in Slidell, Louisiana. That's actually going on right now with Chief Bald Eagle. And I don't know
if you know it, but when Malachi formed the United Nubian Nations,
same thing.
He tied into Empress Verdiasi and the Washita Moors.
Yeah. She put it in her book. Yeah.
So
that's what real reason. That's what I was telling people on that tape. The big cover up. That's the real reason why they came after Baba. They didn't give a damn about the Anunnaki shit, the religious. Him doing what they said, the lie that they made up, said that he was doing with the kids or whatever. They was after him because of what we talking about right now. What we talking about right now.
They don't give a damn about pedophilia and molestation because that's part of their culture. They brought it over here.
Yeah.
We believe in protected children. Protected children preserves the future. Neglected children destroys the future. That's the law of the land over here. That's matriarchal instruction, right? But we ain't gonna hold us up for too much longer.
Hey, man, I'm gonna get in touch with you. Hey, I'm probably gonna study today, rest of the day, tomorrow. We might hook up Monday or Tuesday or one of them days, and we'll come back on, man. I'm gonna have a lot of questions to connect everything like you saying, and I'm gonna have proof to back what you saying. I'm gonna have like a little presentation to show them to back up what you saying. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna hit them hard. We're gonna hit him hard next week. So I want to thank you for coming on, man, because it's long awaited. Everybody say, oh yeah, you gotta hook up with the brother Rob Haynes. You gotta get with the brother Rob Haynes. He shouted you out, and I shouted you out on a couple of tapes too. So
I heard you.
Yeah, so I'm thankful that I was able to get in touch with you, man. That they didn't block us from getting in touch with each other, and I bet other people excited too. So, man, thank you. You know, divine love to you, peace. Shug, you know, peace, Islam, hotel, all that, right? Shout out Big Mama for making this connection.
Hey, look, you ain't gotta do all that. You could just say Wadu.
Hey, Wadu did. Hey, Wadu. Hey, we out, bro. We out. I appreciate you, Rob.
All the time, young girl. Appreciate you too, brother.